right, so here we're going to look at interest on an investment. So brokerage firm charges fees for trading stocks. Some of the online firms offer flat rates, but other firms still charge commission based on the transaction amount. So this table kind of shows the commission schedule for a firm that charges commissions for trades. So here's the principal that you're investing 0 to 24.99, 2,500 to 9,999, up and 10,000 and above. And then this is their commission. So let's say we have an investor that purchases 50 shares of a stock at $47.52 per share. After 200 days, the investor sells a stock for $52.19 per share. Use table 1 for the commission on the transaction. Find the annual rate of interest earned on the investment and round the percentage to 3 decimal places. So let's go over here and figure out what all we have. All right, so how much stock did we have? Well, we bought it at 47.52. We bought 50 shares, and if we multiply that out, that's going to be 47.52 times our 50 shares, 2376. All right, so 2376. That's going to be our principal. And now where does that fall? Well, that falls in this first region right here. All right, so how much commission? Well, that's going to be $29 plus. Now remember, we have to convert these to percent to decimals, so it's going to be 0.016 times our 2376. And so if we multiply all this out, so if we take 2376 times a 0.016 plus our initial $29, that gives us $67, and if we put it into pennies, that'd be 2 cents. Because usually when you're working with this, we won't convert to the thousands because we don't work with that, so it'd be 67.02. So this was, again, our principal. This was going to be our commission. And so now we have to type in and figure out what our total investment is. Well, basically, that's going to be adding things together here. And so what we'll have is, oops, wrong button there. All right, so that's going to be 2376 plus 6. Oh, didn't move over far enough. Plus 67.02, and so that will give us, let's clear that so we can read, 23.76 plus 67.02, and it's 2443.02. So that gives us 2443.02, and that's the total investment from principal, the commission, and everything combined, okay? All right, so let's see, what else was it asking for? It was asking for, so we have find the annual rate of interest earned on this investment. So, okay, so now what we have, when we're selling it, what we have to do is the commission is going to be subtracted from the proceeds of the sale, and then the balance is returned to the investor. So we sold it for, what was it again? $52.19. So if we take 52.19 times the number of shares, that's going to give us 52.19 times our 50 shares. So that's 2609.50. And then we write that down so we remember that. So that gives us 2609.50. So that's going to be our principal. All right. And so now, guess what? Our principal is in this region. So now we have a different one. We started at this one for what we bought it at, but now we're selling it at this one. So we have a commission we have to pay on that. And so that commission now is $49 plus 0.008 times the 2609.50. And so now we multiply all that out. So we have a 49 plus Now it was 0.008 times 26, oops, not that, 09.50. And so that gives us 69, and that would become 88 there. So 69.88. And that's our commission again. And our total return then is going to be basically our amount of principal minus our commission. And so if we say we're going to subtract those, we're going to take 2609.50 minus 69.88. That's going to be our total return. And so let's subtract those. And so we have that, let's go, we'll just type it in as 2609.5. That way I don't have to type as much. So we get 2539.62. There's no rounding in that one. So 25, if I can write right, 39.62. That's going to be our total return. All right. So now, let's see if we have another page I can write on. Good. So the total investment we had was the 2443.02. The total return was 2539.62, and the time, I forget how many days this was, 200 days. All right, so let's write that down. So we had 200 days. We had initial investment of 2443.02, and we ended up with 2539.62. And so now we can plug in all of that, and we could get our value, because we're going to have, again, A equals P times 1 plus RT. So future value was 2539.62 is equal to 2443.02 times 1 plus, now we're looking for the rate, and our time was the 200 over 360. Okay. Now we have to plug all that into our calculator. And what we're going to do, we're going to divide by 2443.01. That's an 02 though, not an 01. And then we're going to have 2539.62 divided by 2443.02. And that's going to be equal to 1 plus R times 200 over 360. So we'll subtract 1, we'll subtract 1. And then what we're going to do after that, well, then this is gone after we do that. And then we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, 360 over 200. And so that means we'll multiply that whole thing by 360 over 200. And so this is what we're going to look for, and that's going to be our rate. So now if I can remember all that, we'll type that in. All right, so we had, let's see, 2539.62 divided by 2443.02, and then it was minus 1, and then I didn't put parentheses, so we'll say, okay, well then that's equal to, and then we'll multiply that by, and that's going to be multiplied by the 360 divided by 200, and that gives us a rate of that. And if we convert it to a decimal, we get 7.117%. I forget if they wanted 3 decimal places, but I'm pretty sure they did. So we'll say it's 7.117%. And so that's our rate for the investment after all the commissions are taken off. And again, let's go back and make sure, yeah, 3 decimal places. So that's our rate there. So that would be how we would work this kind of an investment. So you have a commission on both sides, and you have all that kind of in between things, and then our final calculation to get that rate. All right, so and I made another page just in case. All right, so let's stop there and we'll come back for more.